My name is Mahinda Samewardana and I am from Sri Lanka. When I participated in the SIFoCC Observation Programme in London in July 2018, I was a judge of the Court of Appeal in Sri Lanka. Now I am in the Supreme Court, the apex court in Sri Lanka.
My name is Elizabeth Chekoech Tanui. I'm Deputy Registrar serving in the Commercial and Tax Division, Kenya. I did have the honor and the delight to participate in the SIFoCC Judicial Observation Programme, which took place on 4th of March to 9th of March 2021. It was a virtual meeting, Singapore.
My name is Justice Dora Chepkonyi. I'm a judge of the High Court based at the Commercial and Tax Division at the High Court in Nairobi, Kenya. So I participated in the SIFoCC Observation Programme from the 21st to the 24th of June 2022. I must say it was a very exciting and enriching experience.
Thank you.
During the program, which lasted for 5 days, we were sitting on the bench in the Commercial High Court in the Rolls Building in London, the world's largest dedicated business dispute resolution center, shadowing the work of Honorable Justice Robin Knowles. The most important lesson I learned in these proceedings was saving judicial time on the bench, because Justice Knowles comes to the bench to address the core contentious issues and not to waste time on peripheral and ancillary issues. Everything has been done before the case is actually fixed for trial at the pre-trial conference. We
were a team of about 5 attached to different judges. The first day we had an introductory meeting. This introductory meeting was basically on the Singaporean courts. We did have a briefing on the structure of the Singapore courts. And then we were taken basically over, how the docketing system and the case management system works in Singapore. We were taken through the various courts that are there. On the case management system, which I basically learned a lot from, the docketing system, is that there is a lot about court-annexed mediation, which for me was something I was keenly looking at, because we had just introduced court-annexed mediation in Kenya. So at that time, together with Justice Audrey Lim, who was the judge who was mentoring me, we had a discussion about the challenges that the Kenyan model could be having. It was something to borrow from Singapore in terms of, this is the model that seems to be working. So let me bring it home and see whether we can rework the model that we have. As an administrator myself, I was also keen on learning from the Singaporean courts, which are basically, they've been digitized, automated. The procedures and processes in Singapore have been digitized and automated. So I was keenly looking at what is it that they have done right? How has their journey been? So of course, we had an opportunity on the 3rd day to listen to one of their registrars on innovations and technology. It is something I borrowed heavily from. We had just rolled out the e-filing system, and I had been given an opportunity to spearhead that, the concept and the solution to the judiciary at that time. So I learned a lot from the Singaporean courts.
Like I was very impressed that they take up QCs that in this case would be senior lawyers in this country to assist in case management. Another experience I had was that the court, the commercial court, the business and property court, is divided into divisions. These divisions being divisions like the intellectual property courts, which are separate, the technology and construction courts, which are separate, etc. One of the issues that I found very amazing was the issue of costs. When the advocates are then, they have to present their cause before the judge, and then submit on that, so that the client then is informed. The various clients are informed of what the cost of the case will be. The receptions we had with the stakeholders, the reception we had with the pro bono people, and it made me realize that as a judge, because as a judge in Kenya, sometimes you live a very lonely life because you're afraid of engaging with other stakeholders because of perception that you may be compromised. But when we attended these receptions, I saw a very free engagement. People discuss issues without appearing to be suspicious of each other. And that really I think leads to the very special relationship that the bar and the bench in England has.
The opportunity I had to closely interact with Justice Knowles is memorable. His inspiration took me a long way to shape up my future judicial career.
But for my mentorship with Justice Lim, it was very informal, and she got to know how my journey in the judiciary was. So we started with the basics, just having a relationship with her in terms of what has your journey been? What are the challenges? So for me, just the establishment of that mentoring relationship with her was a highlight, and we have maintained that friendship today.
The most memorable one was when I met the Lord Chief Justice, Lord Barnett. I didn't think that in my life that I would have an opportunity to meet a person of such caliber, and our engagement with him was very, very enriching. And just visiting the Royal Court of Justice, a very beautiful building with beautiful architectural work, I think that was very memorable for me.
Yes, this observation program certainly broadened my horizons and helped me to look at the issues we face as judges from a different perspective. Pre-trial conferences have now been introduced. The UK Commercial Court Guide will play a significant role in introducing rules to our Commercial High Court.
As a judicial officer, also, I was looking at it. My experience was both as an administrator and also as a judicial officer. So for me, as a judicial officer, in terms of case management, I think I learned a lot from Singapore in terms of how they are managing their cases, that you don't have to reserve every application and write a ruling on it. There are rulings that you can actually have them done in court, because most of us, and I think judicial officers of my caliber, we do a lot of writing in terms of ruling, even simple rulings on applications for joinder of parties, applications on security for costs. So we reserve a lot of those rulings, and I was discussing that with Justice Lim, and she asked me, so how long is your ruling at any one particular time? We went to those statistics. So I was giving her like maybe 10 pages. So how many rulings do you write per day, for instance, in 10 pages? And what is, so yeah, so I actually saw the benefit of just doing simple rulings in court and moving the case forward very fast.
It has impacted on me in terms of how I conduct. Although these days now I hardly want to refer matters for trial, pre-trial, to the DR. I want to do them themselves. Borrowing a lot of experience from Justice Robin Knowles. He's a master of case management. Is a master of how you can do brief rulings and on-the-spot rulings, so that you don't have to keep a matter too long. The fact that the engagement with my colleagues from other jurisdictions, it was we shared a lot about our different jurisdictions, have kept in touch.